gentlemen, permit me to align with the existing protocols. I thank the organizers for inviting me to this occasion, and I'm very sorry I'm unable to secure the connecting flights from an earlier commitment, and thus I profoundly apologize for not being here available in When we look around this venue, we are likely to see a number of us glancing and in some cases concentrating on our phones. Just take a walk around any busy outdoor location and it becomes clear how addicted we are to our devices. Arguably, our phones know much more about our movements than our spouses. Science tells us that the human being cannot multitask effectively. And so that should cause us sort of pause. I'm sure that most of you have language modules which achieve general purpose language understanding and generation by using vast amounts of data to learn billions of parameters during training and thereby consuming large computational resources during their, the training and indeed their operations. So if I may ask, apart from ChatGPT, Bard, and Copilot, please, a show of hands, how many of us today have used AI? And, shout some examples out. Now, we need to consider the following, artificial intelligence applications and platforms that some of you may have used and interacted with or be familiar with, and you didn't even know they were AI-based platforms. For example, smartphones, they have smart assistants like Google Assistant, Alexa, Siri, or Bixby. Indeed, using a smartphone in portrait mode, the camera in portrait mode triggers an AI module. AI-supported smart cars and AI-supported drones, Tesla cars, for example. In South Africa, we have aerobiotics that is helping farmers with drones and data, and also monitoring number plates for criminal activity. In Kenya, the Wildlife Service is using drones to help catch wildlife poachers. Zipline is delivering blood in remote locations in Rwanda, and I believe they have some agreement now with the Kaduna State government. We've seen drone usage in filming and editing, Nollywood movies. Our social media feeds, media streaming services, Spotify, Netflix, YouTube use this. Some of us may indeed play video games, the online ads. Certainly, a few of us may use navigation and travel tools, Google or Apple Maps. Some of us may call an Uber or a Bolt or even book online a flight ticket. Those of us who do banking and financing, customer services when we call the bank, fraud protection and investment, and much, much more. Some of us may have smart home devices, especially TVs and fridges that are actually online. And different areas of security and surveillance, object recognition and facial recognition, modern day cameras, our door openers that use our, scan our fingerprints. So given all these uses, how many of us, if I may ask the question, have not used AI? Esteemed colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, AI is not coming to Africa. It's already with us. According to Microsoft's Kate Crawford, AI is neither artificial nor intelligent. AI in its current form is not a replacement for human intelligence, for empathy, for it is not intelligent in any kind of human intelligence way, and it has a completely different statistical logic for how meaning is made. There have been and still are many vendors that claim to do AI, but really what they're doing is nothing more than big data analytics, as important as that is. And they're pretending that it's AI. Indeed, much of it seems to be smoke and mirrors. In local parlance, ogboju. Esteemed colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, the use of information technology by authoritarian regimes to surveil, repress, and manipulate domestic and foreign populations is real across this continent and around the world. AI-driven, and as we currently to digital authoritarianism by governments to corporate platforms, those large international social media and related corporate platforms, and the algorithms themselves. To this end, we need freedom of information, or rather, to this end, we need freedom of speech, and we need freedom. In March 2020, a Libyan warlord's logistics units were attacked as they fled Tripoli by Turkish-made STM Cargo 2 drones classified as loitering munition. Others would classify these same drones as lethal autonomous weapons. We must bear in mind that at least 12 African countries used the Bakatia TB2 drones. The Nigerian Air Force has been using locally made UAV technology named Amebo, Guluma, and Sagumi for defense and issues related to counterterrorism and counterinsurgency. The recent tragic incidents involving army drones, which sadly punctuates the need for us to put in place a foundational philosophical, ethical, and related principles to guide such processes and decisions. That said, the Nigerian Air Force does use these drones for surveillance to gather intelligence and monitor insurgent activities. These drones have AI capabilities that detect changes in the ground due to human usage and certain types of movements, that are associated with bandits and terrorists. They also leverage satellite technology and AI systems to process the output of that technology so that they can observe oil theft, oil bunkering, and related illegal refining. AI systems are now embedded in many of the communication and navigation tools, and certainly in the advanced communication systems. In Rwanda, the defense forces there has been using technology to advance peacekeeping operations, especially in areas, conflict zones like the Central African Republic and also Cabo Delgado in Mozambique. This includes the use of drones for surveillance and reconnaissance, as well as advanced communication systems for better coordination, between the various, military units. Working on various kinds of autonomous systems, from smart missiles and drones to tanks and guns, even a new generation of smart bullets that can go around corners. And so who bears responsibility for the mistakes of an AI system developed in one part of the world for a particular purpose, but applied in another place or for another purpose that may have a totally different environment? AI in the battlefield today has thresholds based on different philosophies of their creators, rooted in their own culture and unique worldview. For example, using a very broad brush, the US and Western Europe seeks to eliminate false positives, and that is to err in favor of not killing innocents by letting a few bad actors through. When you move further east, China and Russia, their philosophy tends to seek to eliminate false negatives. Again, a very broad brush, and that is to err in not letting any potential threats through, which might result in the deaths of one or two innocents. And this begs the question: what is Africa's position? How can we collaborate together, also with our international partners, to fashion out our own unique philosophy, principles, ethics, upon which our policies, strategies, and accountability frameworks will be rooted? They must also be rooted in our culture and our own worldview, while we must, very important, ensure that they are not within and beyond the battle space, articulating our own AI-related philosophy, principles, and ethics is the continental, national, interdenominational, and certainly interreligious conversation that we need to engage in. And I pray that today is only the beginning of a much larger set of interactions that will result in our society articulating our own unique set of AI related and indeed cybersecurity related philosophies, principles, and ethics that, yes, factor global interests, yet is for us, by us, and with us. This will also provide guidance in preventing and mitigating AI bias. This bias arises due to flaws in the models and algorithms arising from the limitations of the developers. They are human beings after all. But also partiality of the data used to train AI systems due to the lack of African developers and African-oriented data. This is why today, many AI facial recognition systems have difficulty recognizing that is their rate of error in recognizing Black women. It's sorry, incoming phone call. In record, in recognizing Black women, AI facial recognition errors recognizing Black women as opposed to data. That makes the rules roads and stuff. Now, moving forward, 28 out of 157 countries at the UN back in 2018 were seeking to fully prohibit, autonomous weapons under the Convention of Conventional Weapons, the UN Convention. It's notable that the United States, Russia, Israel, Australia, and South Korea were not willing at that time in 2018, to support even the negotiation of a legally binding instrument to ensure meaningful human control over the critical functions of weapon systems. Many of us believe that it is imperative that the global community engage in initiatives to curb the development and deployment of fully autonomous weapons. Humans need to remain in the kill decision loop. And of course, there are many other ethical and related AI challenges, one of which is, should we kill in the first place? Currently, no African country has dedicated AI legislation, although Mauritius has a partial legislation in AI. 4 African countries have a national AI strategy. 13 countries have established an expert commission or task force on AI. The African Union, AU, is currently developing a draft or is developing a draft conceptual framework of a continental strategy on artificial intelligence through the African Union Working Group on AI. It contains 10 objectives. It proposes a mission and a vision, or a vision and a mission. It also proposes 6 guiding principles and also proposes 8 strategic pillars that are aligned with the aspirations and goals of the African Agenda 2063. The AU draft conceptual framework of the continental strategy on AI by the AI Working Group has, let me just highlight some of the proposed objectives: capacity building and education, ethical and responsible use of AI, addressing AI's social impact. There are a few others, as you'll see on the screen. And some of the proposed guiding principles, again, this is just a quick summary, uh, include one, inclusive development, which prioritizes equitable access, local language support. Dr. Tunde, please note that. Adegbola, please note that. And using AI to address rural challenges. Another principle is the issue of the local challenges and solutions. Um, that AI research should be on the following priority areas: healthcare delivery, food security, clean energy, and water management, and should take into account cultural sensitivities and robust data protection and privacy standards. And the third area I would like to highlight comes to what we are here to discuss: the ethical considerations to mitigate AI bias, ensure transparency and accountability, while promoting gender sensitivity and human AI uh, collaboration, and certainly in areas of human rights compliance. It also includes a number of pillars. AI, pillar 2 is AI in the workforce and capacity building. So develop AI education and training programs. That's a strategic objective. Another strategic objective is to foster continuous learning and upskilling. Pillar 3 relates to AI governance, such as developing comprehensive AI policies and regulations. And also another sub-pillar there is to enhance AI intellectual property and technology transfer. Pillar 6 touches on issues related to ethical and inclusive AI systems that respect diversity and people's rights. And so strategic objectives under this include develop and enforce AI ethics and standards, and ensure equitable access to AI's benefits, the positive things. For Africa to effectively engage, it needs to develop and implement an AI strategy that is inclusive, responsible, and forward-looking. A strategy that not only addresses the potential benefits of AI, but also safeguards against such risks. Together, Africa and its partners can build an AI-powered Africa that is prosperous, that is just, and that is resilient. To this end, many of us advocate that we first and foremost provide support for human resource capacity building. And this is at 3 levels: the operational technical level, the technicians. The second B would be the strategic decision makers, chief executives, parliamentarians, and the like. And C, the researchers, academics. And this is awareness for population as well. The second major aspect is full participation in global conversations and initiatives, so that we gain ownership in the development of global good practices and possible norms and future legislature development. And the third major area is cooperation in gathering for the benefit of all. In charting our path forward, we must develop, then embrace African artificial intelligence philosophies with associated principles and endeavor. And I challenge all academics now to contribute to this vital work. Distinguished participants, esteemed colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, education and capacity building are paramount. We must develop training programs, especially curricula. It's not about parachuting or helicoptering some foreigners for a 5 or 10-day training. We need our own curricula to produce the middle level technicians and practitioners required. I'm very happy to note that the National Board for Technical Education, NBTE, has now developed such a curricula for artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, and cloud computing networking for the HND level. And We need to, run public awareness campaigns, engage in regular and oversight. Ladies and gentlemen, the future does not wait. Strategy would be characterized by its adaptability, inclusivity, and focus on harnessing AI for the good of all, balancing technological advancements with socio-economic development and ethical considerations. It would place Africa not only as a consumer of AI technology, but as a key actor in the era of global, in the global AI arena. So, two parting thoughts, if you'll forgive me. Ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, distinguished participants, as you engage in these conversations at various levels, each of you has a responsibility to factor the underserved, the unserved, and the unborn. Because, with due respect, they are not here. They're not able to participate in these discussions. Yet, they in the future must live with the decisions that we make and the precedents that we set today. Once again, the future does not wait, and neither should our efforts to secure it. As they say in my hometown, Oyai, Kario. Thank you very, very much, all of you, for your attention. It's very much appreciated. Have a great